Hello and welcome to Charter Local Edition Northwest. I'm Dana Cowley, your host for today's segment, and today our team is recording inside the port of Walla Walla. My guest is the Mayor of Milton-Freewater, Lewis Key. Lewis, thank you so much for joining us.
Very pleased to do this. Thank you.
You are just coming to the end of completing a sewer project.
Yes, we are. This is a $3.3 million project. The last upgrade we did was about 16 years ago, and we thought we were in good shape, but we had a breakdown in our digester, and so we got a grant to fix this. It's taken a year for construction and almost 2 years of planning, but we're 99% finished. The project is functioning, but we haven't got EP approval yet, but we will after a few tests, and so that's underway.
Oh.
And so we're excited. We're going to have a final barbecue and celebrate a new system here in a few days. So.
Well, that is so critical to your community thriving and growing and carrying on. It's just essential.
Absolutely. We got a grant for $2 million grant, and we got the rest at a low interest loan. And so it's we only had to raise our rates to $32 a month, so it's very, very favorable rates for the citizens of Milton-Freewater.
Yes, sometimes those things can be much more costly,
yes,
so congratulations
yes.
on that. And then going into the fall year with a new school that the community is enthused about.
That's very, very exciting. We got a $15 million matching grant from the Gladys Valley Foundation, and we passed a bond for $12.5 million, and the state stepped up with a $4 million match. And we got such a favorable interest rate, we've got almost an additional $2 million.
Oh, wonderful.
And so we're going to have a brand new school, very latest in all the safety and security and all the upgrades for all the electronics and computers and things that I don't even understand.
I'm sure you do.
But it's going to be an exciting event, and the construction will probably start next spring and take about a year and a half to get it built. And so it's an entirely new feeling in town. It's an excitement that we haven't had before.
What other kind of response are you getting from the citizens of things they'd like to see go next on top of this good momentum?
Well, hopefully that there will be so much excitement that we'll have to upgrade some more schools. But we got, that's a whole other project several years down the road. But there's a new enthusiasm in town. Housing market is increasing demand, and there's people that want to move there that didn't before. And we had an example. We had a Make a Difference Day, and we had more than 200 volunteers, and we just had a fix-up, paint-up thing, and we had 100 volunteers painting buildings, and everybody's excited, and it's a difference than there was just a few years ago.
Well, that's very contagious, and
yes,
that is certainly delightful. I'm glad to hear that you're experiencing that.
Yeah. So.
Now, for those of us who live outside of the Milton-Freewater area but drive through and come to visit and enjoy it or might have relatives there, we see the frogs. Can you tell us a little bit about that history?
Yeah, it's an interesting history. Many years ago there was a Pea Festival, and that kind of faded and went away, and so then we started the Milton-Freewater corn roast. Milton-Freewater muddy, just the corn roast. And then, so there was a sign outside of town advertising the corn roast, MF corn roast. Somebody graffitied the sign and changed it to Muddy Frog Corn Roast. And so the name stuck. And we used that to our advantage. We even got a write-up in the New York Times.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, about the Muddy Frogs. And so the statues and we had a frog carving contest, and we had artists come in and carve frogs, and that's how we got the frogs, the statues, with this carving contest. And it was a controversial subject. You either loved them or you hated them. There was no in between. And we feel like now that the majority of the people feel like that we've sort of moved past that. We've got to find a name for our town that's a little bit more modern and a little bit different, and so that's kind of a process now. We're starting a process to develop a new name and a new insignia, and it probably will take about 2 years, we think, for all this planning to come about, but we hope to come up with something that everybody can agree on and love next.
Enthusiasm and the momentum going forward, I'm sure that's just going to be part of that as you evolve into something nice and new.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you coming. This is the Mayor of Milton-Freewater. I'm Dana Cowley, and you're watching Charter Local Edition Northwest.